Today, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, which is race cars. Speed, the one thing you need most in a drag race, the one thing deciding if you win or lose. There are multiple ways to make you go fast, but the one I want to focus on is NOS. How does it make the car go faster, you may ask? Well, it's not magic, it's chemistry. I'm using this real-life example where thermochemistry plays a big role in understanding heat and energy, which can make or break a race. This scenario of using NOS in race cars is a real-world example where understanding energy changes from chemical reactions is not just useful, it's essential. By applying chemistry, we can control how much energy is released and when, turning chemical power into real performance on the track. Now, what is NOS? NOS is N2O, or nitrous oxide, which breaks down under heat into nitrogen, gas, and oxygen. The main point of doing this for a race car is the oxygen. It lets the engine burn more fuel, which releases more energy. It's like giving the engine a breath of fresh air. Literally. The engine reacts by going faster and pushing harder. When you put NOS into the engine, it's literally just shoving air straight into the engine to make the pistons pump faster. Now, what is this reaction? This reaction is exothermic, meaning it gives off heat instead of absorbing it. As the reaction happens inside the combustion chamber, all that extra heat raises the pressure, pushing the pistons down harder and giving it that burst of acceleration. That's why NOS is so powerful. The reaction is fast and hot. When nitrogen goes in, makes more explosions happen, makes them faster, makes them more powerful, making the engine hotter, putting out more power. Now, let's break down the bonds for this reaction. First, our bonds broken, or reactants. We have 4 nitrogen to single oxygen bonds, each of them giving off 201 kilojoules, resulting in 804 kilojoules absorbed. Now, for our bonds formed, or our products, we have 2 nitrogen to triple nitrogen bonds. Since we have 2 of them, they're each 945 kilojoules, which gives us 1890 kilojoules released. And we also have our other bonds formed, and we only have 1 set of oxygen to double oxygen bond. Each of them gives off 498, since we only have 1, we still have 498 kilojoules released. Our total release is 2,388 kilojoules. Now, to find our delta H, we take the energy absorbed minus the energy released, giving us negative 1,584 kilojoules, proving that our reaction is exothermic. Now, something to note, bond enthalpies are averages, so this delta H is an estimate. Actual values may vary based on engine conditions and fuel type. Since I didn't actually do this reaction myself, I got the averages for these numbers, and just to prove that it was exothermic. Another way we can show this very large temperature change is by using this graph that shows what happens when you add NOS to a car versus when you don't. When NOS is injected, the temperature rise is basically instant, from 100 degrees Celsius up to 350 degrees Celsius. Without NOS, the temperature only climbs from 100 degrees Celsius to about 150 degrees Celsius. This proves just how much heat NOS contributes and how fast the engine responds. When you look at the graph, you can realize that one line just instantly jumps up way past the other in temperature, and it's way quicker at doing it with less time taken to get to that temperature. Now, in my scenario, the system is the combustion chamber where the chemical reaction happens. It's where all stuff goes on. Everything outside, like the engine, car body, and air, are the surroundings. Just like how in our fire model, all surroundings was the air and the grass and the people around it. Heat flows from the system to the surroundings, and that flow is what powers the engine. This is energy transformation. Chemical energy from fuel and NOS turns into thermal energy, which drives mechanical motion. The faster energy is released into the system, the more pressure builds up inside the chamber, which means faster acceleration and more piston force. If energy moves too slow, the power boost won't work. In my example, I assumed all the energy is used efficiently by the engine, but in real life, heat is lost and values like bond enthalpies are just estimates. Since I didn't do this in person, again, can't really get the exact numbers. Now, how do we reflect this back to human biology? Believe it or not, your body actually does something similar in your cells. Oxygen breaks down glucose to release energy as ATP. This happens in the mitochondria and is called cellular respiration. It's the same general idea. Oxygen helps burn fuel more efficiently, whether it's in a car engine or your body. The big difference is speed. Your body is slower and safer, and NOS, it's explosive and fast. One issue with NOS is that it can cause overheating or piston damage. If pressure builds up too quickly to fix that, engineers use things like cooling systems, temperature sensors, and programmable injection systems that only activate NOS at the right time. Some even mix NOS with other fuels to slow down the burning slightly. That's called a wet injection, which is another form of using NOS. The goal is to get the power without blowing the engine. Balance chemistry with smart control, making sure there's not a huge explosion and the car just blows up. Now, NOS hasn't just helped race cars, it's also contributed to automotive research and engineering. Testing the limits of combustion with NOS has led to better fuel systems, more efficient cooling setups, and even advanced materials that can handle high heat and pressure. Plus, understanding how NOS works gives us insight into other oxygen-rich chemical systems like those used in aerospace and emergency propulsion devices. Having NOS can help us with emergency situations where we need to make a vehicle faster, and by adding NOS, it just boosts the car super duper fast. Now, to wrap this all up, NOS works by injecting oxygen that helps fuel burn hotter and faster. That creates more heat, more pressure, and more power. The whole process is powered by thermochemistry, which is the main reason I wanted to talk about this. And just like your body uses oxygen to make energy, a race car uses NOS to unleash its speed. One is steady and controlled, the other a lightning bolt on wheels.